have our storyteller of the night. Give it up for Arthur. And beat it.
I have been set on fire more than any other living playwright. Some of you know that I was a stunt performer for about 10 years. I have conducted a band while my arms were on fire for a music video. I have been blown up on Wall Street. I have had one arm strapped down, dressed as a zombie, and set on fire and then blown up for a really cheesy zombie movie. Yeah. And for one weird experimental art film, I sat in a comfortable chair in an apartment, just hanging out, looking at my watch, while ablaze from head to foot. We shot that on a soundstage in Brooklyn. I'm wearing 3 layers of Nomex, that's the material race car drivers wear, that has been soaked in Zell gel. It's a fire protective stunt gel that has been chilled. Feels like being wrapped in a giant used Kleenex. It's wonderful. And it reeks of tea tree oil, which they use in it as a preservative. To this day, if I smell tea tree oil, my chest tightens. I'm wearing hoods with little glass circles sewn into them, yellowing glass. Over the top of that is the costume, always natural cotton. You don't want anything that will melt. And on top of that is the fuel. In this case, contact cement, because it stays exactly where you paint it, so you can control it. It is highly flammable, and it is a hexane base, which means it burns with a bright yellow flame that looks really good on film and picks up well on camera. Underneath everything, I have a little oxygen tank strapped to my chest, going up through a tube so I have something to breathe. They light me. I am on fire. There is a sound to being on fire that is different from anything else. It's not just the sound of flames, it's the sound of being inside flames. If any of you scuba dive or just swim underwater, you know that sound travels differently through water. There is a different quality to everything you hear. The same thing happens inside flame, only in the other direction. Nothing else sounds like that. I'm on fire. I'm doing the action. I'm monitoring my temperature, but something is wrong. Something's off. I'm finding it difficult to breathe. Something isn't right. I'm not sure what. I throw myself down, flat on the ground. The safety crew put me out. I pull the hoods off and I'm about to say something, I'm not sure what, something's not right. And then I hear the flames and I realize I'm still on fire. And I'm still sitting in the chair and I'm still wearing the hoods. So I do the action and I throw myself down because we just did this. And this time I don't pull the hoods off because I'm not sure what just happened. But Barbara, my lead safety person, they put me out, she pulls my hoods off, and I'm about to tell her, I just had the weirdest, it wasn't even deja vu, we did this. And then I hear the flames, and I realize I'm still on fire, and I'm still sitting in the chair. So I throw myself down, and they put me out, and they pull the hoods off, and I'm lying there, and my face is pressed against the concrete, and I can breathe the dust. I am tasting the dust on the floor of the sound stage. And I hear the flames and I'm still on fire and I'm still sitting in the chair. And I throw myself down and they put me out and I hear the flames and I'm still on fire and I'm still in the chair. The 5th time, I am wondering what is going on. I'm trying to understand what is happening, and the best I can imagine is I am burning and it is serious, because if I'm damaged enough to be hallucinating, I'm going to wake up in the hospital. This is not good. I throw myself down and they put me out and they pull the hoods off and I hear the flames and I'm still on fire. So the 6th time I think, well, if I am still on fire after this amount of time, I am dead. Oh, I'm dead. Well, this is what happens when you're dead. Now I know. You relive the moment of your death over and over and over. And I wonder whether it's purely biomechanical. This is just the synapses as they finally fizzle out. Their last little thing, they just replay over and it will stop soon. Or maybe this is what death is. I am just going to relive the moment of my death over and over for eternity, or maybe it's just a purgatory. It will happen for a while, and then there will be something beyond. But either way, it doesn't matter, because I'm dead, so I can just let it all go. And I do, and it all goes, and I am in darkness and in silence. And then I see a distant light. And then the light resolves, and it's the film lights, and I'm back in the soundstage, and I can feel the concrete pressing against my face, and I'm tasting the dust, and I can smell the charred costume and the burnt rubber smell of the fuel. And then I sit up, and then sound comes back, and Barbara's right next to me, and she's saying, "Are you okay? What happened? What happened?" I said, "I don't know what happened." She said, "We were doing the stunt. You just collapsed. You just fell over. And we put you out, and you sat up, but it was obvious you couldn't see anything. And I thought I had blinded you." What had happened was the valve on the air tank jammed shut, and I wasn't breathing air from the tank. I was breathing that little gap in between myself and the Nomex. That was pulling in the fumes from the glue. So I was hallucinating because I was huffing glue. For those of you who aren't in the stunt industry, huffing glue while performing a fire stunt, while it might take the edge off, is not recommended procedure. After a few minutes of breathing clean air, I was fine. Everything was good. I checked that they got the shot before I collapsed. We didn't have to come back and do it again. I apologized to everyone there for freaking them out, because I am that English. And everything was good. So I packed up the van. I even drove home. I drove Barbara back to drop her off on the way. As we're driving, I'm telling her what went on in my head in that split second that I collapsed. And she listened to the whole story, and then she looked at me in her cool way and said, "Arthur, you do know you're still on fire, don't you?" And I almost ran off the road because for a moment I thought she was right. 3 fires. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Arthur.